All right, hello everyone. Hello everyone and welcome. Welcome back to Live with Leslie. And today we are diving into really one of the most, I would say, significant conversations happening in healthcare and nutrition right now. And that is all about AI. And will AI help dietitians to thrive or the opposite, make things harder? Because in all honesty, AI is already changing how people search for health information. It's definitely changing, how we go about creating content, run businesses, and possibly even deliver care in some cases. But really, I think the question that we want to try to grapple with in our conversation today is what does that mean for dietitians? And let's really be blunt, are dietitians at risk of being replaced by AI? Or could this be one of the biggest opportunities for practitioners who learn how to use these tools strategically? So that's what we're going to explore today. And I am delighted. I love when I look at my calendar and I see Ashley Oswald on my calendar for these conversations. So I'm really excited to be chatting with you, Ashley. And for those that don't know Ashley, she is from Oswald Digestive Clinic. All right. And she's going to share a little bit more about what she does at her workplace. But bottom line is, I think we're going to have a really important and honest conversation about where our profession is headed, what AI can and can't do, and how dietitians can stay relevant, valuable, and ahead of the curve in a rapidly changing world. And I would even say that's an understatement, right? Ashley, welcome. Why don't we start by you giving a quick overview of what you're up to?
Of course. Thanks, Leslie. And I can't wait to talk about this today
Great
because just
topic.
the other week I had another person. I've gathered all these AI friends now. Somehow, I have a lot of men working in AI who are friends now. And one of them told me, soon there's going to be just AI doing your job. So what are you going to do? And so I really had to start thinking, like, is that true? Right? And of course, there's a difference between people who are very much in that engineering world of AI and then us who know healthcare and are more into this field where it really involves human behavior and interaction. So, yeah, there's so much we can talk about today. I completed my undergrad at the University of Minnesota, Minneapolis, went to Boston for my internship at Harvard's Brigham and Women's Hospital. I worked in the hospitals after that, floating around. I did a little bit of private practice in drug and alcohol rehab centers. I worked in the intensive care units on surgical and burn. And then I moved to California
Oh,
and worked in parental nutrition as a specialist with option care. Eventually landed in the private practice out there in functional medicine. And that really started my journey in 2015 in the world of functional medicine, and then started what's now Oswald Digestive Clinic in 2016, where we have dietitians. I know a lot of your audience is dietitians. And so we do
yep.
have a lot of dietitians who refer to us because we really are specialized and can help with those complicated cases.
Awesome. Okay. And tell us a little bit about where you're located.
Oh, well, now I have been living between the US and Mexico. So I
Okay.
have residency here in Mexico. Moving to Mexico City now as home base because
Yeah.
most people don't know this, but there's a really amazing international community there. So
Uh-huh.
I'm excited. I think it'll really help our clinic in ways that maybe don't make sense on the surface, but just being around people who are really innovating in the world and creating change in a positive way.
I love that. I love it. Okay, so let's try to unravel this seemingly complicated topic of AI. So, yeah, what is your so you started to really reflect on this, it sounds like, in terms of, is AI going to replace dietitians or does it have the potential to make us more valuable? Can you share a little bit about, just kind of your thought process so far in this exploration?
Yes, two things come to my mind right away. I love having these conversations with different people to hear perspective and to help kind of shake out my thoughts on it. And firstly, from a new client that scheduled into our clinic, he came in, called us, said, "Hey, I've been on ChatGPT for hours, figuring this out. I have all these great quality supplements, learning from experts on YouTube, all this." He just simply said, it's like, I'm just overwhelmed, confused, even though I know so much. I just want to know, what should I take for me? And in our profession and our schooling, I don't know about you, Leslie, but I remember being taught a lot of like motivational interviewing and have them kind of find their answers and things like this, which of course in some settings is great. But I think especially for our clinic who's so specialized, people just want to know what to do. Like
Yeah.
they are exhausted. They want a plan. They want to tell you their story, be listened to, being heard, having somebody to support them emotionally because they get to a point where it does get so overwhelming. And so the second thing I thought of is I have a really good friend out in Maine who's a therapist and certified nurse specialist. And she had a really big therapy practice for decades. She's 70 now. So, really wise woman, very still cutting edge. I met her at a psychedelic conference of all places. So, you can imagine this woman is, constantly learning,
Right.
just so wise. And she was speaking to me about how, I just don't see this happening because of the healing part of the clinician and client relationship and
Mhm.
how that just connection, that unseen part that's beyond just the knowledge is healing in itself.
Isn't that the truth? It is irreplaceable.
Right.
So I am super curious about this client who came to you, and it sounds like he came with all kinds of information, like he was on Chat GPT and watching all kinds of YouTube. And so he was like no shortage of information, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
yet he came and said, I'm so confused. So
Mm-hmm.
clearly, in addition to this, what this therapist is saying, how, of course, that human to human connection, the healing power, that's completely omitted, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this scenario. Additionally, though, people are more confused than ever. Like they have so much information, um,
Yeah.
but they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
at the end, they're not, and I would concur, just kind of based on my research and what I'm hearing and seeing, is, a lot of there's a lot of direct to consumer marketing now, and a lot of people, like for example, doing their own labs, right? You don't really need a
Yeah.
practitioner to order your labs anymore. There's a lot of
Yeah.
direct to consumer functional labs happening. And so what I hear is that, consumers will do these labs and they'll get like hundreds of pages of results, and they will try to make heads or tails of the information. They'll like upload it into Chat GPT.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest, you can ask, it's just not ready for prime time. Let's just be blunt, right? You can ask clinical questions and get a different answer every Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think the consistency's there, and I don't think it's accurate. Not to mention, there's that little privacy thing, right? But I guess if you're uploading your own labs, that's maybe a different story. But even so, it's just confusing people more than ever.
Yeah, it is. And we know as clinicians, especially in the world of functional holistic, two people can come in with the same symptoms, but the plan for them is going to be different depending upon their past medical history, their other symptoms, their medications, what they've tried already. And so I think this is really where people are getting confused because there's so many avenues, as we know.
Mhm.
And it's unpeeling the onion. We have to start somewhere. But if you don't have enough experience, then choosing where to start for yourself or even a clinician that maybe isn't experienced in a certain niche it becomes really overwhelming. And so that is really the value of coming to somebody like us to save that time. And also the value of having a clinician that has a good intuition as well, because I think that in this era is going to be more value, so much more valuable
Yeah, totally.
than just knowledge like it was 10 years ago, that knowledge was really valuable.
Oh, such a good point. So, doing the kind of work that I do with practitioners and dietitians, sometimes, I would say, especially more in the past, people would come to me kind of with this idea that how can I compete with information? You know what I mean? Like, w- what I do can possibly be learned by doing an online search, for example. And I was always really, well, it's just not true. Let me just say. So, a lot of the conversation would shift towards, look, you are not the purveyor of information. Like, you can't compete with that, right? So we
Yeah.
have to really shift your mindset from thinking that it's about, I mean, yes, there is an educational component, right? Um,
Hmm.
there is an educational component, but it's not really about the information as it is about the transformation and actually helping people make those difficult and, sometimes challenging lifestyle and nutrition changes, right?
Yeah. It's true,
So,
like the storytelling a component of it as well, to inspire, to motivate. And we do see it. I was just at a conference a few weeks ago where I spoke and got to have a conversation with one of the best brokers in health insurance, where they go between clinics and corporations and work to broker deals to help convince corporations of decreasing their healthcare expenditure by using additional insurance contracts and whatnot. And he even told me, like, hey, this AI program that we have, we now know we have the data showing the outcomes just are not as good as when there's that person to person interaction. And, for me, I'm like, well, of course, right? Like, we know that. But it's great that there's data coming out that these companies, these insurance companies are realizing this too, because with AI and with these AI programs, or it's these basically tech companies, right? Creating and selling these things. So the marketing is really pretty on the surface, but just the amount of people that can drop off of that no-show rates and all this, it's different. And that's where we can really stand out. And in part, it is the storytelling we can do with clients that help really make points. Like, how do we package that information in a way that's actually going to create change for this person?
mm, oh my God, so good. Yeah, so I think you're saying it's partially like, how do we package this up, right? In order
Yeah,
to get the person from point A to point B.
right. Yeah. And that's going to be more and more in this world as even ChatGPT does get accurate, right? 5 years. I
The
mean,
accuracy will increase, I'm sure,
yes,
right?
yes. But it's going to be the same story, right? Instead of having more fear because, wow, it's getting so much better. No, like how can we, as ourselves really show clients how we can help in these ways that AI just won't be able to. We have the experience, we have the intuition, we can tell them where to start for them,
Yes.
we save them time, we have like the human factor of supporting them.
Right, right. And helping them to troubleshoot, helping
Right.
them helping them to prioritize if they need it, right?
Hmm.
Um how about accountability? Right? Like, I
Yeah.
just know in coaching that if you know that, like, if you do some goal setting, like in a session, let's say, and then, because I used to do this when I had my practice, we'd always set goals, and then, it might be like a nutrition goal, a lifestyle or stress goal, like, maybe two or three goals, right? And and my clients would always know that I would very specifically ask about each of those goals at the next session. And knowing that someone cares enough to follow up and ask is very motivating, right? Because I know
Totally.
I've been in on the other side of the table myself. And I know if someone's going to ask me, I'm going to do it. I'm going to really give it my all.
Yeah.
But if that other person doesn't like remember, doesn't really think to ask or whatever the case may be, or maybe like it just kind of falls by the wayside. So again, that is something that AI is not going to do. It cannot do accountability.
Totally.
And I
Right.
know for sure that many patients and clients, they want that. They want accountability because again, it's granted, like there's so much information out there. It's almost a bombardment. Like they're completely overwhelmed, even though they're trying to sift through it, right? But it just becomes overwhelming. So the information itself, I'm sure it'll get better and more organized over time, but right now it's still really overwhelming for most people. But again, it's those missing elements that AI just cannot fill, right? It
Absolutely. And
cannot
like
keep
the
you accountable.
Yeah, and the enjoyment. I mean, I would rather, if I'm working towards goals, have somebody that I can go and talk to every week. I mean, just this is
And
life, right?
celebrate
And if
with
you can
you.
afford it, yeah, exactly. Celebrate and like work through challenges and
Yes,
all this where AI can become secondary. But also, I think it's an amazing thing for our profession. This this way of being able to gather information now because most people will agree that the undergrad, and I'm sure it's changed, right? It's been so long since I've been out of school, but I had to do additional training for functional medicine, which I feel like that should have been a part of my undergrad. Like it was kind of
agreed.
unfortunate that I didn't come out being able to help clients in this way. I had to go through 2 more years of schooling through IFNA, which is amazing. And after that, I felt so confident working with clients.
Yes.
Now I have dietitians come to me, ask me where I get my CEUs. And it's an interesting question for me because I'm like, wow,
Mm.
I can't even think of what to tell you. I'm like, I would go through IFNA, but honestly, for me, it's like, I don't search for now a place to find information. No, like I get my CEUs from conferences where I can network and connect with
Yeah.
other providers and all this, but it's not for the information. I'm like, this is at the tip of our fingers now. Like, if you want to learn functional medicine, you can learn functional medicine for free.
Sure. Yeah, that's really true. You can. Probably not like, yeah, like if no, there's no
Oh, it's
replacing it.
different.
You
No,
know what
there's
I'm
no
saying?
replacement. You go through a structured thing because you don't know what you don't know either. So it's like if you're using AI, you're piecemealing it still. You're like looking
Totally.
yeah. So
Well, you
there
can
is
try. You
really
can try. Like you can
if
try
you
to do
need
all the
something for
free
free,
webinars.
yeah. If
You
you
can
like super
try.
can't afford IFNA, I still like I really want to hire most of our new clinicians who have gone through IFNA. So like even for me, it's like so valuable, because it also
Yes.
shows employers that okay, this person has this training, which I
Totally.
wouldn't know if you're just piecemealing it from online.
Exactly. That is so true. So let's talk a little bit about so I guess the takeaway is that AI can't replace dietitians. There's so many reasons why
Like
it
turning from
can't.
hard skills to soft skills.
It just, yeah, it's not possible. But let me ask you, how do we, okay, so we know it, and I would venture to say dietitians know it to be true, and other practitioners listening as well. But what about the public? Do they know? You know what I'm trying to get at? Like, do
Yeah,
they have
this,
a perception that, oh, I don't need that anymore because I can just look it up on AI?
you
Or
know,
what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I'm really glad we're talking about this because for me, this is like beyond AI too. And this is the question of how do we improve the credibility of our profession? And for
Mm.
me, I'm glad I've gotten to this point, right? Like 15 years later of understanding some of these issues from like struggling to grow my business and all this. But I've met a lot of doctors now who are older. They've been in practice for a long time. They tell me, hey, if we had somebody like you, I mean, I'd be so happy to be referring to you. Or they say, well, I used to refer to this like dietitian, not, great results. I started trying to do it myself and whatnot. And we know every profession has a wide range of like skill
Absolutely.
sets. And of
Yeah.
course, we have so many
Well,
different disease
shaker.
states. We're all specialized. But I think overall, whatever it is about our profession, we don't have the best PR, I think. And so it's why isn't it normalized in medicine that doctors are referring clients to dietitians? Why? There's like 8, 9 times as many doctors as dietitians. So I think this is the biggest question for us as a profession.
Oh my God, that is an angle I never considered. Thank you for bringing that to my,
Yeah.
to light, because I think you're exactly right. So I think what you're kind of alluding to is that, we know collectively that AI cannot replace the clinician. Um, does the public know? Hard to say. Probably, some do, some don't. But I think what you're really emphasizing is that as a profession, we should be in a better position from a PR standpoint to really spell it
Yeah.
out so the public understands.
What
And
value we can add. Yeah,
yeah,
because the public, I think they just go to their doctor. They realize the doctor doesn't really know. They go to AI and they're like, wow, I'm getting some advice now. They don't
yeah,
even really see that we're an option, honestly. So I think this is huge potential for us to kind of come in and say, hey, like, we can help you with this in these ways.
yes. Oh, that's great. That's such a good point. Um, so better PR is in communication in terms of especially in this day of AI, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe dealing with it kind of more head on. I haven't heard anything related to that in the news or anywhere. So it seems like it's just not being spoken about, which is probably a big mistake. So, how do you think dietitians can start? Like, let's talk about how we can use AI safely and confidently to possibly improve things like efficiency. Can we use it to improve client outcomes? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. And then, of course, there's a third category that we could explore, and that's business growth. So
Mhm.
let's maybe pick them off one by one. What do you think about using AI to increase efficiency? I have mixed thoughts on this. Let me just tell you.
See, I kind of do too. I'm probably more old school than other people because I have some doctor friends using it. And to me, like what it's shooting out, it becomes messy. To me, my brain is a hyper organized brain and I like simplicity. So
Yeah.
when it's like, when I see these AIs writing these notes, I'm like, to me, like it's quicker to just like update notes on the call and our system, the same note, pulls into the next appointment. Like most EHRs do this. And you just update, like you type in the subjective that's pertinent, you just update the plan. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know why, like for me, we have the option, right, to incorporate AI into our
Yeah.
charting, but I don't do it because I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I don't think it's quicker because then you spend more time prepping for the client next time because it's messy.
Interesting. That is so,
But again, like people can like debate me on this because I also don't have a
yeah.
ton of experience. So it might have gotten a lot
Yeah.
better now.
I haven't written a nutrition note
Oh,
in
sure.
decades, so I can't really even comment on that. I do know that there are AI options that
Hmm.
people are really talking about. Um, but in terms of efficiency, just with the stuff that I do, I will just say to get a good output, it is very time consuming. Very, very, very. Because, like,
Yeah, what's an example?
oh my God, let me think. Well, okay, this is like full transparency. I can think of several examples, but okay. So I was using AI to help me write a video script for a sales page. And I might as well just have written it myself. It would have been so much faster
Totally.
and so much better.
Totally.
I,
Yeah.
okay, like I'm in full transparency here. Okay. So it wrote a script and I read it and I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. I might have tweaked a few things, but I'm like, no, I'm going to record it. I start saying the words. I'm like, this sucks.
Me
This
too. This
is
has
so
happened to me
bad.
too.
Like, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to get I mean, I must have tweaked it like in the moment 10 times. Finally got it recorded. I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm just doing it. Probably the 10th try. I woke up the next day. I was like, that was just terrible. Like, it doesn't sound like me. It's just
Right.
not good. So guess what? I started
You
over.
did it yourself.
I
This
started
has happened to me
over.
so many times.
So I'm just saying, like, and I've done that with like presentations
Me too.
where I'm like, okay, I've got these slides. I want them to be beautiful though. Oh my God, down a rabbit hole. And maybe it's just me, but
I thought it was just
took
me too. And
so
then I
much time.
asked my AI expert friend, and he gave me some advice. I'm like, okay, for sure. I like Claude is the best one, paying for co-work, exporting it into HTML, not into PowerPoint, because there's some issues there. That's a little tip tricks for people.
Uh,
But still, AI loves like words. And the best presentations don't have a lot of words. They have some images. You
yes,
speak to it, you share stories. And so I'm actually seeing more and more people presenting in ways I'm like, this is so boring. I can tell you used AI, and this is
right?
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yes. And
And that's
even,
the other thing is you can tell a
yeah, you can
mile
tell
away
now, right?
and nobody wants that.
They don't want it.
I like don't even waste your time. So like just my example, I mean, I pretty much wasted at least a half a day. I'm not even exaggerating because time just flies. It's like, okay, make this better, change this, do this. I don't like that. Change. It's like, why not just write it yourself? It would have taken
Yeah.
me 30 minutes and I would have gotten a good output. It would have been sounded like me. I would have recorded it once and I would have been done. But I wasted
Yeah.
so much time and it just and it and the next day I woke up, I'm like, I'm not posting that anywhere because that didn't even sound like me. And it didn't even really make total sense. It looked like it made sense when I
You're
wrote it, but when I'm
right.
when I'm saying the words, I'm like, this is not me. So
Yeah.
anyway, I find that does happen to me. It is kind of like it's like a time warp where you start down that avenue of using AI to help you create something and it kind of looks decent at first glance. I find that I get sucked in like, okay, okay, I'll do a couple tweaks. Oh my God,
Mhm.
hours later I'm still tweaking. Like I should have
Well,
just
I
done it
feel the
myself.
same. And Leslie, I think as more and more people use these tools, they can sniff it out so easily if you're using AI or not. And
I
people want
know.
you, like they
I
want
know.
us. Like this is the future of business. Like us, like the personal
Yes.
connections. I think we're going backwards now. It's like, or it's going back to old
I
school.
agree. I agree. I can smell it a mile away and I know other people can too. So I really do have mixed feelings on so the trigger word for me was when I read efficiency. Cuz I'm like, okay, hypothetically you should be able to get stuff done faster, but it has not been my experience.
Yeah, and
Because
for
if you
me,
really look at it and then you're like, oh my God, this just doesn't sound like me. So basically, you're just starting over anyway. So I don't know,
right.
unless I'm missing something there,
No, I really
that
feel the
would
same
not be the
way.
word.
I think so too. And especially when I see people creating websites through AI, it's the same
Oh,
thing. Like it
tell me
becomes
what is
word
happening
vomit,
there.
and then they have to go fix it all. And then you can still tell, like, this isn't, yes, it's like, it's better just I find if I do most of it, then I can use AI to fine tune some things. Like
That
maybe
might be true,
I'm
but don't
forgetting
do
my
the
English grammar class,
yeah,
and there could be a slightly better way to
yeah,
say this.
yeah, yeah. But if you do the opposite, it doesn't
Yeah,
end well.
I think so
And I
too.
am hearing more AI websites. So I am doing like SEO audits for people now.
Oh
So I'm
yeah.
moving more and more into, yeah, that whole world of findability, searchability.
Oh, that's great.
And yeah, it's really cool. Um, well, let me just say, I kind of don't think that these AI websites are going to be very well optimized. Just
No, I
saying.
am so glad you said this because I've been telling this to people. I'm like, I'm pretty sure. Like, I had to go through this whole SEO learning curve, 10 years in business, right? It's like first
Yeah.
how many years? I had no idea. Um, exactly. So I'm so glad you're saying this. What else
Yeah.
have you seen?
Well, I see like even websites that web designers have. I mean, I'm not seeing like SE, I mean, that's a whole nother topic, right? But um even a lot of it's pretty specialized. It's not hard though. I do want to be clear about that. Like search engine optimization stuff, I don't think it's super hard. I think we have this kind of um like a lot of people think, oh my God, it's so hard. I don't even like want to go there at all in my head. It's really not. A lot of it's pretty straightforward. But I guess in summary, most of the websites that I do look at, even especially if the person themselves, if they do it themselves, like there's a lot of self-made types of websites. I would say there's a lot, let's call them opportunities, right? A lot of opportunities for improvement to increase visibility. But even if a website developer does it, it's still really, really interesting how a lot of them, quite frankly, when you look under the hood, there's a lot of room for improvement. Let's just say that. But on that topic, the one thing I would add, um, that because this is connected to AI, because when you search now, everything is so different because half the
It
page is an
is.
AI summary. It's just really, really different now as compared to even, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say is another thing that's really, really important now is Google business profiles.
Oh,
So
yeah. And optimizing
optimizing
that.
that, it is so important now. So if anyone listening isn't really on top of that, that would be a really good place if you're at all concerned about visibility. And I will just add that I think many of us used to, and I know I used to kind of think this way, or I did think this way, like set it up once and forget it. It is no longer that. Like we actually need to be posting on Google profile, your Google business on a regular basis.
Um,
I don't know if you're aware of that,
I've
but
been doing it, so I'm glad to hear it. I'm like, well, I don't know if it matters, but I'm just gonna do
oh,
it.
it does. Good for you.
That makes
Good for you.
sense. This makes
Yeah.
sense.
So there is like a place on your profile for posting. And yeah, so it is not like a just set it up and leave it kind of a thing anymore. It's really, really important. So, what do
Gosh.
you think about dietitians using AI for client outcomes? Can you talk a little bit about where you see that going?
Yeah. And I also want to say, I'm really glad you're doing these SEO audits because
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of people I've noticed they say they do SEO, then I've come to realize they don't. And then I see that people think that I'm going to pay $5,000 for a website and then people are going to find me. So I think there's a huge disconnect. So anybody
There really
listening that's
is.
been considering this, it's like, yes, you're going to get a beautiful website, but make sure you know how to add to it to improve the SEO piece.
100%. Because that it really is what you can have the most beautiful website and the most high-end beautiful design, all the things. You can have like a amazing copywriter write the copy, right? Like all those things. But when you open the hood and you kind of look at um just like just, like basic like meta tags and titles and keywords and um cross-linking in the website, things like what am I trying to think? Oh, like even uploading images. Like almost all the websites I've looked at over the past week are like the keywords for the images are completely omitted, right? It'll
Yeah,
be like I looked
yeah.
at one today and the name of the image was like lemonade dot JPEG,
Oh,
right?
JPEG.
Like
Yeah, missed
lemonade. I
opportunity.
don't think that's your keyword, right? So
Right,
people are not looking up a lemonade to find help, if that makes sense. So like, yeah.
right.
So it is a separate skill set. And I do think I think you bring up a great point. If you can pay someone to do a beautiful website and you can pay copywriter to write, all the things, it doesn't mean anyone's gonna ever find it, in
Well,
all
this
honesty.
is such a good theme for this whole conversation then, because it's like AI, how do we use it to actually have outcomes versus just this middle tier of, oh, it looks good. It's like, I did it quickly, like, no, like if you want to do quality, right? Like do quality, use AI for how it might work, but you'd be surprised by maybe how much you still have to do a bit by hand.
Oh yeah. And I don't even know, like I'm hearing more people ask about creating websites on AI. And I gotta be honest,
Oh, it's
I
been
don't know
trendy
completely what that
now.
is yet. I'm gonna have to look
It,
more into that.
Yeah, but it's just like what you're saying, though. It creates kind of a landing page that can be
Mm.
usable. But
Okay.
if you're trying to create a business and a website that grows and people find you, like for example, we have clients finding us on ChatGPT now because
Oh,
thankfully I figured out how to do some of this SEO stuff. I'm no
there you
expert,
go.
right? I'm sure I'm missing things, but I figured it out well enough that now we're showing up on ChatGPT.
Right.
That's the difference because I've had our website for like 8 years, right? And I'm really intentional about this versus just throwing out a random landing page that
Yes.
doesn't have keywords, doesn't have, right?
Oh, that's great. For you to show up on ChatGPT, like that's what we all
Oh,
want.
so random. We were number 2 for gut health in Minnesota. I was like,
Wow.
whoa, we're behind like a big conventional medical clinic. So it was very exciting when the 2 clients told me this now.
That's huge. And then the other thing is that map pack, right?
What is
Um,
that?
that's how if you look somebody up and so nowadays it'll show, actually it usually will show one sponsored output and then 3 non-sponsored, and it's the map, right? It's like if you were to look up, I don't know, nutrition near me. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So can I do a screen? I think I can do a screen share just to show you an example.
Yeah.
Okay. Typed in nutrition near me. And yeah, just like I said, so this is sponsored. So you've got this dietitian that's running ads. And then these aren't even dietitians. So this is this health food store, and these are fitness studios. But the map pack is basically like this is what you want to show up in your certainly
Uh-huh.
in your local area, and there's only 3 spots. There's only 3 spots.
Yeah.
So like nobody really clicks more places. I mean, I guess some people do, and they might scroll a little, but for the most part, they're looking just so you get that sponsored spot, and all the 3 other ones that show, it's really based on it's so I'm thinking that they probably have a really good optimized Google here, I'm guessing, because that's why they're showing up on this is what we call the map pack.
Right,
So
with like less reviews still, which I'm working at our clinic to get more reviews too, asking clients to ramp that up.
yes,
Um,
super
does the
important.
quantity of reviews matter a lot, Leslie?
Oh, it does. It does.
Okay.
Yeah, it really does matter. And then Yeah, so these guys have
Oh, great. I just looked ours up. We're number one. Only 54 reviews, but we show up number
amazing.
one for Gut Health Near Me,
There you
Minneapolis.
go. So that's awesome. That's fantastic.
Oh,
That is
good. It
helping
must
you
be
a
the
lot.
SEO of the website and everything
Yep.
else
Yep.
then.
And plus the fact that you're posting,
Ah,
most people don't know to do that. So yeah,
ah.
hardly anyone I've talked to really knows to do that.
Gosh,
But
these
that
are
would help
really, yeah, good
anybody. So
tips.
yeah, so yay, so that's really good. Yeah, so it's not a one and done. You want to have your like, keywords in your description. You want to have like there is a place where you can post and you want to make sure that's, you know, keyword oriented. You really want to be thinking about what are people actually searching for. Um, you definitely want to get reviews as much as you can. You want to respond to those reviews as quickly as you can. You want to have your services. So, like, there's a place for services and a place for products. You want to have all of that filled out. So, you really want to optimize it. And then again, the key that most people don't realize is you got to, ideally, you are continuing to post. Like, I try to tell people aim for twice a week, you
Oh,
know?
that's good to know.
Yeah.
I've just been doing it monthly. Yeah, good
Oh, I
tip.
would try to do that more. It'll only help
Okay.
you, right? So like if you do a blog, you can post.
Yeah, just share it.
Yeah, why not? Like the
Yeah.
other thing I know you do, Ashley, is you do YouTube. You can post your YouTube videos.
Yes, yes. And I need to,
Yeah.
at the turn of the year, I took back the YouTube to do it myself so people can build this relationship. And man, it keeps getting pushed to the side burner, right? Like, you know how business goes.
I do. Yep.
So yes, for sure need to. It's been a few weeks since I made one.
Yeah.
But that is a
But
priority
you can
because
go,
speaking
you
of
can
S,
post, yeah, you can post old YouTubes on
yeah,
your,
true, true, true,
give it a
true.
breathe new life into them. You can
It's
post testimonials on your, like if someone's giving you a written testimonial,
Yeah,
that
that's what I've
wasn't
been
on Google,
posting. Hmm.
right? Obviously you have to have permission, of course, that goes without saying. But yeah, so you just want to have like it's a content kind of machine now versus just a little profile that you fill out and leave it.
That
Um,
makes a lot of sense.
it does. It does. But looks like you're doing a ton. Um, if I think if you increase the
But this
cadence,
is a good tip to ramp it up. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
I
going
think that
to.
would only help you, even though it
Yeah.
looks to me like you're in a good position. What do you think? Do you have any other comments on client outcomes with AI?
I was gonna mention
Yes.
this. I mean, what you said about be super careful what you're uploading, follow HIPAA, of course. I worry
Yes.
a lot of people are not,
I
but
do too.
keep that at the forefront of the mind.
Mhm.
And for me, it's it's just like you would look up stuff on Google in the past, trying to find information PubMed. I always like I'll go to AI, type in some questions, but then cross-check it on like PubMed or Google Scholar because it is
Mm,
not always accurate, especially when it pulls research, it's usually not accurate. So I always say like cross-reference, but it can be cool to say, hey, this person's struggling with these symptoms. What are all the things that it could be related to? And we have
mhm.
to put on our clinician hat to help organize it, sift through it, not just say, oh, number one is what's going on. But that's also where like intuition plays in and can just give more ideas to explore about, like we were talking about mold toxicity before this call. Like if you have a client with all these random health issues, maybe then it comes up and says, oh, have you considered environmental mold toxicity? Like, oh, yeah, like maybe we should explore this.
Okay. Do you think AI would suggest that? I'm
If
just
it's not,
curious.
I think it's getting pretty good. Like
Okay.
all, I'm not sure though. Like
That'd be
that's,
impressive.
yeah, like
Because
all the
that's a way,
pos.
like, I think earlier you were saying if you had two clients or patients with like similar symptoms, but yet the
Yeah,
individual protocol would still be different. In that moment, I was like, what about like the root cause being the same, but how it manifests can be so different, right? Like with mold.
yeah.
Like some people get all the
Totally.
skin stuff, some people get a headache immediately. I was never that person. Mine is more like chronic, a chronic inflammation. So like I can't walk into a room and be like, "Oh my God, I can tell it's moldy." I wish, that it would be kind of nice to be able to
Yeah.
detect that. I was never that person. It would just be like over time my immune system would get trashed.
Well, you know what? I
Um,
just did a little practice to see, and it so much came up. It's like, wow, this is so thorough. Mold did come up. I just said all the
oh,
possible root causes to brain fog, but that's
yeah.
why we need proper training as dietitians, though, because it's like this is a list of 100 things. So
Okay.
if we're
So what
not
do you do with
trained
that?
well, like especially, again, if not, like I really, really value if
Yeah.
not. I think it's a great structured program schooling to go through. I
Yeah.
think there's still a purpose for structured schooling because you don't know what you don't know. And but then if we have that foundation, we can just cross-check to remind ourselves of other possible root
Yeah.
causes and if it might fit the client profile.
Yeah. One thing I'll mention is I uploaded screenshots of my own genetic testing.
Um,
And I think I was very careful about my personal information. But nonetheless, I mean, you have to be really careful if it's someone else's. It's one thing if it's your own,
yeah.
but somebody else's, ooh, that's a HIPAA violation. But anyway, I'll just share with you really quick that I remember, like, again, at first glance, I'm like, oh, this is amazing, like, spot on. But it didn't get it all right. So you know what I mean? It was like I felt like
Yes.
90% was there, but there was a big gaping hole for that 10% that was way off. Like it
This is
missed it
such a good
completely,
point. Yeah, you have to
right?
know enough to know what's inaccurate. That's so key.
So I went back, I'm like, wait a second. Um, I had to kind of cross check and cross reference. And that's when I realized that it looked almost great. At first glance, it looked great. But then when I really peeled it back and like did the cross checking, it was like, oh no, you missed like a big chunk that would have had a very negative impact on making a plan for me based on my genetics. So
Yeah,
it's
no, this,
really
I'm glad we're
interesting.
ending it like this. 'Cause I think
Uh-huh.
this is really, really, really important about AI that ultimately you do have to cross-check and cross-check in the reference of like what you're working on, the big picture, everything, because,
Yes.
and that's where we really do come in and help
Yes.
why people
It's not
hire
ready for prime
us.
time. It just isn't. And just like you were saying in the beginning, let's just say hypothetically that it was like somehow, some way, miraculously, it was super accurate and comprehensive and thorough. Um, Even though, and who knows, will that happen? I don't know. It's hard to predict. My guess is that we're going to get better and better, but it still does not. We're not competing with information. I guess that's how
Yeah,
I would wrap it up. I've
I think
been
so too.
saying this for 10 years. When I work with business consulting clients who they sometimes they get a little confused. They think it's about the information and the education, which it is in part, but that is not what creates transformation for the client, right? It is that
Yeah,
human to human relationship. It's someone rooting for you. It's knowing that someone cares enough to ask, how did that goal go for you? you know
right.
what went well, what didn't go so well, were you able to achieve it, do we want to change it for next time? Like that's the stuff that moves the needle. And of course, creating a protocol or a plan for the person that is has nuance, you know that I mean, so my summary here, my take is AI cannot compete, but we do have that little disconnect that you brought up, Ashley, that I'm going to have to ponder a little bit more with the PR part because we know it to be true, but does the public know? Do doctors know?
I don't think they know.
So that is really a good point. A boost in PR,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that
Oh
would
my gosh.
really help kind of close that loop so
And
that
it's like a different conversation where people get frustrated about the pay of our profession, but in part pay economics, it's like supply and demand. So if more doctors referring, we become less accessible because of this, pay does start to go up.
it really does. So any final words of wisdom? I could talk
I,
all day,
I
as
know.
we know, you and I.
I know. I feel like that was such
So
a good place to land it on because that's like
good.
my biggest hope for our profession. And I know we started AI landed here, but I'm happy about it.
Me too. Me too. I think it's awesome. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up, guys. I hope you got a lot of value. This was really quite an off-the-cuff conversation. So who knows? And a few years from now, we'll look back and say, "Oh my God, everything's different." But right now, this is where we're at, and I don't think that we're still going to have jobs. Let me just summarize by saying that. A little PR boost would be helpful, but we're not competing with AI, to be clear. We can leverage AI, and I hope you guys are. And I hope you're working to show up in those in the chat GPTs like Ashley is able to do. That is amazing. Congrats on that in terms of your visibility. So, okay. All right. So, Ashley, why don't you let everyone know where they can learn more about your work?
Yeah, they can go to Oswald Digestive Clinic. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we do have dietitians who refer to us because we are really specialized. We can help with the complicated cases. If you're not a dietitian, of course, we do take some insurances. 70% of our clients get insurance coverage. So that's a bit rare in functional medicine and awesome. So yeah, oswalddigestiveclinic.com. And we have a free guide on our website too, 5 ways to improve gut health that you can download and get on our email list.
Beautiful. Okay. That's amazing. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks,
Thank you, Ashley. It's
Leslie. It was
been
such a good
extra
conversation.
delightful today. So, I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. Okay, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for
Bye,
now.
everybody.